Hola mundo, mi nombre es Ricardo y bienvenidos a otro video a mi canal. Hoy estamos jugando a la Parábola de Stanley otra vez. Si vos recordáis, en el episodio anterior hemos conseguido 3 finales. Y si no lo habéis visto en cara, ¿por qué no vos vais a verlo y después venís a ver este? Sí, hemos conseguido 3 finales y en este episodio quiero intentar coger otros 3. Así que vamos allá. Vale, estamos aquí otra vez y vamos allá. Sí. Si no habéis visto el episodio anterior, eso no habría hecho mucho sentido, así que si no lo habéis visto, iros a mirarlo. Vale, estamos a esta decisión otra vez. Voy a ir por aquí, que creo que hay más finales por aquí. Sí, sí. A ver qué hay aquí. Hay un ascensor. Vale, vale, creo que si veo bien eso me iría por la parte correcta, así que voy por aquí. Vale, estamos bajando por el ascensor. Sí. ¿Por cuál parte? Ah, vale. ¿No? Vale, por aquí. Entonces, ¿por cuál parte? No sé. Vale. Pues veo que el narrador no sabe por dónde tenemos que ir. Vale. Entonces por aquí. Espera, ¿estamos aquí? Spoiler. Vale.
It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Vale, es ese. ¿Ha sido ese el final? Pues vale, a ir a coger otro final.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vale. ¿Qué?
Wait, what?
No, dos, tres.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay,
¿Por cuál puerta?
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
Podemos elegir cuál puerta. A ver, por esta. Oh, no me digas que es un laberinto. Soy muy malo con el laberinto. Parece que es por aquí. No, no es. Esto parece bien. No. Pues por aquí no es. Y estamos al principio otra vez. Vale, vamos por aquí.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we just Do we need to restart the game again?
A lo
I
mejor...
find it unlikely that we'll ever
Espera,
progress
a lo
by
mejor...
starting over
No,
and over again.
no es por
It's
aquí.
better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Vale, hemos empezado de nuevo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ha funcionado
Stanley
ese
decided to go to the
restart.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ahora no hay puerta.
Okay, yeah, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go
A lo
back
mejor.
the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No creo que hemos pasado de la historia, pero voy a ir atrás a ver. Espera, voy a mirar todas las puertas. No, no se abren. No, no. Todas están cerradas.
Aha! I knew we'd missed
La historia.
something. The story. Here it comes.
Parece que vamos en un... ¿Qué?
Never mind, not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Vale. ¿Qué? No estamos hasta aquí antes.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story?
No, no
I
creo.
don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Sí,
Do you remember, Stanley?
sí.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Bien.
Congratulations!
He ganado.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
Vale.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some
¿Qué?
people win fair and square, and this
No, he
is not
ganado
one
bien.
of those situations. Okay, I'm getting
No puedo
weirded
abrir
out
la
by
puerta.
whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Vale, empezamos de nuevo. Porfa, dime que es... No, ahora hay una línea
All right,
de aventura.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
La
Just
línea de
follow the
aventura.
line. How simple is that?
Vale, así que tenemos que seguir la línea. Vale, tenemos que ir por aquí, dice la línea.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over
Vale.
in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to
Vale.
destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act
Esta
of
es la
moving
escalera,
forward,
así que
could we
la línea
define
sabe
a
por dónde es la
journey
historia.
such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize.
Vale,
Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
vale, música. Vale, veo que la línea no sabe ir en una forma recta. Me gusta esta música. Pam, pararam, pam, pam, pam. Vale. Línea, no tienes que hacer esto, puedes ir recto. Vale, vamos por aquí ahora. Vale, por aquí. Por aquí. Por... Un segundo, pero la línea... ¿Qué? ¿Estoy viendo esto correcto? Da igual.
Cut the music.
¿Qué?
Go back and look at that fern.
Vale,
Stanley,
este.
This fern will be very important later in the story.
Vale, muy
Make
importante.
sure you study it closely And remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Vale, así que ha dicho que tenemos que mirar a esto atentamente. Vale. Vale, creo que ya lo he aprendido de memoria. Vale, vamos sin...
Wait,
Estamos aquí.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Y estamos aquí otra vez.
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
¿Ese ha sido el final? No, la línea está en cara aquí.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Vale, por aquí.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Aventura.
Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
Espera, ¿estamos caminando en círculos?
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Vale. Por aquí.
No, not
Está la
yet.
línea.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it.
Vale.
Should be fine.
Así que no poner atención a la línea. La línea larga y amarilla. Vale, adiós línea. Dos puertas.
A choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Vale, caminamos en círculos.
So I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere the place where we're trying
Vale,
to go,
estamos caminando en
must be a
círculos.
reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley.
Espera, ¿cuál puerta ha dicho? Estaba distraído.
Awaits.
Por esta ha dicho. El final de la confusión.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times?
¿8?
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according
Pues eso es
to
lo
the
que
schedule,
parece.
I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me?
El narrador se va y después de un largo tiempo Stanley muere.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Vale. No. ¿Qué?
Stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
No sé.
Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
No sé.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know,
Vale.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not
Sí.
quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey. Though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the
Sí,
destination.
sí, tú
So
habla.
I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Sí.
Well, in the meantime, if you do
¿Qué?
happen to have a...
¿Qué has sido? No, ¿por qué has empezado de nuevo el juego? Has dicho que no lo ibas a hacer. ¿Ese ha sido el final? Creo que sí.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Parece que
Stanley
sí.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Pues hemos obtenido el final de la confusión, ¿no? Vale,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
por aquí.
he entered the door on his left.
Porque aquí hay una escalera que
Yet,
podemos ir
not a
arriba
single
o abajo.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find coming to a staircase. Stanley walked
abajo.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Vale, aquí no hay nada, así que por esta puerta.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss.
Vale, aquí hay
Admitting
un
he had left his
coche.
post during work hours. He might be
Un
fired
coche
for
aquí
that.
abajo.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he
1,
was
2,
crazy.
de
And
4.
then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence
Espera.
in a single moment for no reason at all.
Estamos aquí otra vez
None
al
of it made any
coche.
logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he
¿Para qué?
looked down?
No puedo ver
Why
los
did
pies.
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter,
Sí.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Sí,
Were
el
they simply
coche.
repeating? No, Stanley
Y
said to
estos
himself, this is all
puestos.
too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
A lo mejor.
I'm dreaming!
Sí.
He yelled. This is all a
Así que
dream.
esto es un sueño.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his
Vale.
job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Así que tenemos que caminar por estas puertas infinitas.
Go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Vale.
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Estoy volando.
He imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too.
Estrellas.
It was so much fun. And
No veo nada,
Stanley
está muy
marveled that he
oscuro.
had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating
qué?
everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by
Vale.
Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me,
Vale.
thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Eso hace sentido.
And while he thought
Un
it all
poco,
very
no
odd
mucho.
and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
¿Qué?
Was Stanley simply
¿No es un
deceiving
sueño?
himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Vale.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Vale, ¿qué está pasando?
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Vale.
So he closed his eyes gently,
Oh,
and he
estaba
invited
cerrando los
himself to
ojos.
wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this
Vale.
one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Vale.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Vale. Eso es... No, estamos abriendo los ojos.
Stanley began screaming.
¿Qué?
Someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a
¿Estamos
boss at
gritando?
the office. I
¿Por
am
qué?
real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
La pantalla se está haciendo roja. ¿Qué está pasando?
Hear my voice. Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Vale, así que todo se ha ido oscuro.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Vale.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this
¿Es
particular
Stanley?
day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although
Así
she
que
was soon
Stanley ha
turned
muerto.
to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Así que has visto una Stanley muerto en el suelo y no has llamado a la ambulancia. Pues vale, veo que ese ha sido el final. Uno de los finales más raros que considero
Just a
yo.
step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Vale, y voy a coger otro final. Voy a ir por esta puerta. Oh, no, voy a ir por esta.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he
Sí.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. Vale, por aquí.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley,
Vale.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Sí, calla.
foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Así que me he matado. Vale, ese final ha sido muy rápido, así que voy a ir a coger otro.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Vale, vamos allá.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Por esta.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Por esta.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Y
a wave of
voy a ir por aquí.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Vale,
office.
arriba. No, encara no puedo abrir eso. Y déjame adivinar. Sí, está cerrado. Vale. No hay nada. Voy a ir por aquí porque si vos recordáis en el antes de coger el final original, podrías apretar que podemos encender la máquina. Voy a apretar ese botón para encender la máquina. Sí, sí, dice el código.
And so the boss had assigned it
Vale.
an extra secret PIN number.
2845.
2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the
Vale.
keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code
Va.
by sheer luck. amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. It's labeled
Vale,
with
estamos
emotions,
aquí,
happy
otra
or
vez.
sad or content.
En cara no sé qué
Walking,
hace este
eating,
5.
working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very
Veo que no hace
place.
nada.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Sí, no voy a hacer eso.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they
Sí
kept
que lo
you
he hecho.
enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that
Sí.
what you wanted? Control?
Oh, se está rompiendo el sistema.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
Vale.
Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event
¿Qué?
that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode,
Nuclear.
eliminating the
Explosivos nucleares.
How long until detonation then? Let's say
2 minutos.
now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your
Vale.
time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a
Estoy
shame we have
apretando
so little
botones.
time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about
Aquí pone un 1.
me,
Ahí hay un 1.
what all this means. I barely know where to start.
Espera, está...
What's that?
Me ha parecido
I'd like to know where your coworkers
que
are.
esa puerta.
A
Vale.
moment of solace
Ya he
before you're
apretado uno.
obliterated. All right.
Ya he apretado 1.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you
A lo
exactly.
mejor 1 otra vez.
I erased them. I turned off
Uno.
the machine. I set you free.
No, veo que eso no
That
funciona.
was merely in this instance of the story.
¿Puedo salir?
Sometimes when I
A lo
tell
mejor
it,
el
I
azul.
simply let you sit there in your
No.
office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Espera, aquí hay un botón grande y rojo.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing
No.
everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I had to say this.
Pon otra vez contraseña. ¿Qué contraseña?
Rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go.
A lo mejor
But I'm
1,
sure
2,
whatever I come
3,
up with
4,
on the
5.
next go around will be even
2
better.
y el
My
3.
goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Ahí
I'm
el
enjoying
4.
this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why
Vale,
not?
gracias.
These are
Gracias por esos
precious
segundos.
seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
No, no tengo ni idea.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button,
Vale, el
screen
5.
to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why
No.
do you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place
A lo mejor puedo apretar otra vez el botón de apago y se apagarán. No sé.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to
No,
get
no.
action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching
48
the cutscene,
segundos.
but I wanna watch
Vale.
you
¿Qué tengo que
every
hacer?
moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's
No.
fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
No.
That's 30 seconds you have left.
30 segundos.
30 seconds until a big
No sé qué hacer. Así que creo que voy a mirar hasta que los segundos caen.
Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same.
10 segundos.
All a part
9,
of the joke.
8,
And believe
7,
me, I will
6,
be laughing at
5,
every second of your inevitable
4,
life,
3,
the moment we
2,
fade in, until the
1.
moment I say, happily ever
Vale, ha explotado. Pues ese creo que ha sido el final. Y eso creo que es un buen puesto para acabar el episodio. Si os ha gustado, Linea, enséñales a los suscriptores y a las otras personas que miran este vídeo dónde está el botón del like. Y también suscribiros para mirar para mirar mis otros vídeos que hago en mi canal. Y apretad la campanita para que sepáis cuando sale un nuevo vídeo. Hasta la próxima. Adiós.